If ever there was a recipe that called for a cast iron skillet, this is it, the Philly cheesesteak. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and cheat a little bit today. I've already contacted my butcher and I asked them to go ahead and slice up my ribeye steak. If you wanna do it yourself, you wanna make sure you put it in the freezer for about 20 or 30 minutes before, so that way it'll make it easier to shave it or really slice it down thin. And we've got our rolls, we've got a couple of peppers, we've got a wonderful onion, and our own mix of mozzarella and parmesan. Now, I know a lot of people say provolone, but personally, if you ask me, provolone tastes like cardboard. We're gonna get going. Our process today uses both the skillet and the oven. You'll see why in just a bit. The proper way, in my opinion, to slice a pepper is to take the top off and then take the bottom off. Don't throw this away because we're gonna make use of it. I'm pulling off the top right here. That I'm gonna discard. Next thing I'm gonna do is just go in here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this part out. Today, we're making strips. I like really long strips in my sandwiches. There you go. Look at that. Nice long strips. For my steak sandwiches, I like having my onions just a little bit thicker than normal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna cut these 3 times. Cut it down the middle there, cut it to the side there, just 3 cuts per half. I slice my slices this way because I like to see some onion along with my peppers. So these are about the same size as the peppers. Some people will tell you to slice the onions thin. Not for me. I think they should be sliced real thick. First things first, we get our skillet up to temperature, and I've done that already so you didn't have to wait. Today I'm using a high smoke point oil, and it's pretty much flavorless as far as the cooking is concerned. It doesn't add anything to it. It's a grapeseed oil. Now, if you prefer, you can use olive oil. Either one is perfectly fine. I use the grapeseed because I'm going to be cranking this up just a little bit here today. Another thing I have done, look at that. Oh, I have salt and peppered the out of it. Oh, never mind, you get the idea. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this into our skillet. Love that sound, huh? I'm gonna show you a trick here in a minute. Hopefully you have 2 wooden spoons. Since this is already shaved, it's gonna be easy to do this. What I'm gonna do here is stretch the steak, hold it, and then peel it. And the reason I do that is even though we want really nice long vegetables, you don't want the same said with the steak because it won't remain as tender. When you order your beef, also another good point to remember, make sure your butcher gives you one with good marbling because that's where the flavor is. We already know that though, don't we? Yes. There is a place in Schenectady, New York on Erie Boulevard. Used to be next to an 84 Lumber. I don't know if that's still there or not. The place is called Moret's, and they had what I consider to be the best steak sandwiches I have ever eaten. A little kind of a rundown place, not very fancy. They cook on a big old grill that probably has a lot of seasoning on it. Yeah, we'll call it that. But let me tell you, they do something unique with their steak sandwich, which is not truly in line with the Philly steak, so everybody in Philadelphia is going to get mad at me. But they add a marinara sauce to it. And that's an interesting twist because it puts things together. We're going to be using the oven. We're going to put this all together. We're going to put it into the bun. We're going to brush the bun with a little bit of garlic butter, which I've got going on in the back over here. I don't know if you can see that or not. And we're going to bake it at 350 for about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll kind of keep an eye on it. So that'll give us a nice crusty texture on the bun. It'll give us a nice extra melt on the cheese, and it'll make the sandwich oh so delicious. Another recipe that's coming up in the future in this skillet is German potato pancakes. See how you got all those tiny little pieces and you don't have any long stringy strands of meat? Lodge has their own recipe on their website for their Philly cheesesteak, and it looks pretty good. I like to keep mine a little simpler. Some of the basics: salt and pepper. If you try this recipe and you make it, please let me know how it came out. I really want to hear from you. Another splash of oil, just a little bit. We're going to do our onions first. Onions take a little bit longer than the peppers do. I prefer nice big yellow onions. If I can find it, and if they're in season, I love to use a true Georgia Vidalia onion. When it comes to the choice of toppings on a Philly cheesesteak, I have been to some places where they actually ask you if you want mayonnaise and lettuce. And in my opinion, those people should be closed down and not own a restaurant, because that just ruins a Philly cheesesteak. Mayonnaise does not belong on this sandwich. So I always preach that a sharp knife is a safer knife in the kitchen. And yes, I goofed up. So I'm gonna have to wrap that up in just a little bit. Here's our garlic. We're gonna cook the garlic for maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and that will help it release its aromatics, and then we're gonna dump in our meat. We just really wanna reheat it. Just remember, like I said, we're gonna be putting this in the oven. Now, I'm only feeding 2 people tonight, and I have used about 14 ounces of ribeye steak and 2 full peppers. I'm not gonna obviously be using all of this. The great part of that is you can freeze it. If you look real carefully, we've got parmesan and mozzarella in here. I'm gonna mix it up, and I'm gonna put just a little bit in here so that we've got the cheese flavor throughout. There we have our rolls, and our oven is up to temperature. We've got our garlic butter all set to go. Now we're just gonna stuff this thing as much as we can, and then we're gonna top it with cheese. And then we're gonna brush it with garlic butter. And then we're gonna go ahead and put it into the oven. Don't be afraid to lay it in there. The more the better. Don't want no stingy sandwiches. And I'm sure those of you that have a watchful eye, you've observed that I have put on a glove because of my earlier mishap with the knife. I feel so goofy. Like, hey, don't you know how to handle a knife? And I'm always saying, hey, a sharp knife is always safer. Well, it is when you use it properly. But no matter what, accidents can happen. So I always ask people, or urge people rather, to go ahead and be careful. For looks, I'm gonna go ahead and put on a little bit of parsley. Always makes it look so professional. And I'm also going to add a little bit of oregano. Not a lot, just enough to, there's a hint there. The next most important thing, our garlic butter. Ooh, look at that. I'm brushing the side of the bread with that garlic butter. If I didn't mention it, the oven is up to temperature. It's at 350. There is nothing worse than soft, mushy, crappy rolls. I'm sure somebody's gonna disagree and go, I like soft rolls. Okay, that's fine. That's on you. Now, you know what I forgot? I forgot my parsley. Let's put the parsley in. All right. And our little bit of oregano. Are we getting a good shot of that? Yep, there we go. All right. I'm putting it on parchment paper so it cleans up easy. I guess if I want to talk about easy cleanup, I better get that spilled cheese off of the bottom of my baking sheet. I'm going to put them together so that way they won't fall apart. I'm going to stick them in the oven. About 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on them, make sure that they go ahead and brown nicely, and we'll be back. I said I didn't have another roll, but I did find some really cool swirl rye bread, and I'm going to treat myself because Jacqueline is out of the room, and I'm going to have a tasty sandwich before our other sandwiches come out. Just don't tell her. This is what they look like straight out of the oven. Nice and crusty on the outside, like I said, and we got the cheese plenty well melted. I can't wait to plate this up. We'll show you what it looks like in just a minute. This is the way you want to go ahead and slice it up. I always do it on a little bit of a bias and then set it on the plate like this and like that. If I had some chips, I would lay them out, but that is going to be the presentation right there. That is delicious. Well, I've worked up an appetite, and I hope you have too. Please let me know if you try this. I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's not that difficult, as we've just shown you. The proof now is in the pudding. We have to take a bite, right? Can you hear the crunch of the bread? As I always say, recipes are just suggestions. You can put in whatever ingredients you want or take out whatever you don't. Another interesting add might be some banana peppers. Or if you really like it spicy, you can add some jalapeno peppers. Let me know what you do with yours. I'm anxious to know. If you liked the video today, give us a like. And by all means, please subscribe. It helps us grow. Thanks for watching.